All righty. Let's turn off little Steve Miller Band this morning, which was good listening. I hope y'all enjoyed the sounds of Steve Miller. How is everyone this morning? Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am. We're good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Yay. I have voices in the mix because there's nobody in here with me right now. It's just me and my computer screen. Okay, before I start, because today's going to go pretty fast because most of it is going to be review from government/civics. Wait a minute, I got two people waiting on me in here. Let's get Dakota and Catherine in. Um, I want to show you in Canvas just so that you know. So here's my Canvas. I don't know exactly what yours looks like, but under modules, under period 3 at the very bottom, I've given you, I've loaded up the key concept review. This is a good place for you to get ready for your test. And we'll decide today if it's going to be Monday or if it's going to be Tuesday. I think it's going to be Monday because I think we can go relatively fast today. Because the other thing that I'm going to do to save us time is that I'm going to drop the, I'm going to drop the PowerPoint on this. So what you have is just a series of key concepts. You can see I'm scrolling through them pretty quick, but it's the key concepts that we have for this unit. And it's a good place to start. And it looks like I'm missing page 1. I'm going to go back and add. I don't know where it's at, but it should be here, but it's not. So I'm going to add key concept 1 to this, the first page of this, because I'm short. It looks like a page, and I'll get that in there. But you're gonna have to give me till next hour because I have to scan it. So I'll add it, and then that's a good place for you to review for your test because it's everything that we've done, and you can go in, fill in details from your notes. You can see that I have the key concept here broken down, and then like quick little notes that that go with that. All right, so there is that. Questions about that? Everybody's good with that? Okay, good. Okay, well, let's finish. Go ahead and get your stuff out from yesterday, and then when you're ready, I don't know, give me a thumbs up or something. Miss Johnson, we're ready, something. I wonder what remote control is.
I'm ready, Miss Johnson.
Oh, look, I could give you all the keyboard and you could do it. Huh, that's interesting. There's Hunter. Let's let him in. Can I write on this? Oh, look at that, I can. Can I get it off now, is the question. Hoi! Wonder how I get rid of it. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Look at that, I just keep doing more. Okay, let's see if my eraser will take it off. No. Oh, crud. Oh, I quit sharing. Wait a minute. Let me share again. Sorry, I got excited. Okay, it's off. All right, so yesterday we talked about the Northwest Ordinance, and so we've already done this. Y'all do have this in those fill in the blank notes, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, good. All right, so I just want to show you, here is that territory of the old Northwest, and look at the states that were cut out of the old Northwest. Just so you can see. A lot of times you talk about, well, it is south of the Great Lakes and east of the Mississippi, but west of the Ohio. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but here it is right here, just so you'll know. Once again, I'm going to load these as PowerPoints. This is not a PowerPoint you have here, but I am going to load it. And I do believe I should be recording. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm recording, so I may just do it that way. I may just drop the recording on there. All right, here we go. You have a challenge question. If you could jot that down real quick. And you should have challenge question number 7. Is that right? I didn't take up the other day? Except
It
Carson
was
wrote.
number 5.
It was at 5?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is that the one, Carson, you put on the back of your other paper?
Yes.
Okay, well, add 8. I don't know what happened to 6 and 7. I don't want them, obviously. So add 8 to 5 and jot it down real quick. Carson, you'll just do yours on your own on a new sheet of paper.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm good when you are, Miss Johnson.
All right, I got one good.
I'm good.
I got another good. Let me
I'm
ask,
good.
do I have any no goods? I'm not ready, Miss Johnson. Do I have any
I'm
of
on the
those?
last one. I'm almost done with the last one.
All right.
Okay, I'm good now.
Okay. Anybody else not good? All right, well then let's move forward. Remember, I'm gonna drop these anyway, so you can go back, and I'm not taking these up until Monday. If you are in class, you're gonna bring them Monday. If you are virtual, you're gonna just, I'm gonna make a spot for you to submit them, and I'll do that in a second. All right, so in your fill in the blank notes, did we do Shay's Rebellion yesterday? I know we did notes on your own paper, but did we put it in your on that note sheet?
Ms. Johnson, the
Yeah.
last thing that's on the note sheet to
Uh-huh.
fill in the Northwest Ordinance, not Shade Rebellion.
All right, but we took notes on this yesterday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well then we don't need this because we've already done it. And you know, it's Shay's Rebellion that's going to really show the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation. This mobocracy, this, my mouth doesn't work any better by myself. Mobocracy is going to scare the people, and they're going to decide that we need something different than the Articles of Confederation. All right, add, look here, 7. Add 7 to your sheet.
I'm good, Miss Johnson.
All right, do I have any not good? All right. Well, here we go then. All right, so this starts where, this is brand new, and this is where it's going to go quick. And once again, I'm telling you that I am going to post this video so you can, if you, I'd like to get through with this before the bell sounds today. So if you don't mind, I don't mind, you go back and write your notes afterwards. Is that good with everybody?
That's fine with
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So Shay's Rebellion shows we have some weaknesses. So convention is going to be called, or a conference is going to be called in 1786 in the city of Annapolis, which is in Maryland. And at that time, Alexander Hamilton is going to suggest. Well, let me explain. Let me back up. Sorry, back up. At Annapolis, only 9 states sent delegates. 9 out of the 13. All right, so it's not enough to, 5 out of the 13 send delegates. It's not enough for them to do any kind of business. So Alexander Hamilton proposes that they have a convention, and that convention would be held in Philadelphia in 1787, May of 1787. And the purpose of that convention would be to revise the Articles of Confederation. Not to make any changes, but let's look at the weaknesses and see what we can make better. All right. So that takes place May of 1787. 12 of the 13 states are represented. Rhode Island is the only state that is not represented. There are 55 delegates that meet in Philadelphia, and they meet at Independence Hall. It is a secret meeting in that they're not telling anybody what's going on outside of the meeting. And that was to keep the panic, of society from being down, from being high, and folks, freaking out that they were doing something there. All right, and they also knew that the discussions that were going to happen in this meeting were going to be heated, and they really did not want the public to know that there was decisiveness amongst the leaders of those states, because those 12 states sent, their very best leaders. Jefferson calls the group that participated a group of demagogues, because they're wealthy. Most of them are relatively young. Ben Franklin's the only one that is not. Even though they are young, they do have experience, because you'll notice from the names that they do participate in not the Constitutional Convention, but the Continental Congress. So even though they are youngsters in terms of, when we look at politicians today, they are, they're pretty experienced. George Washington is going to be the president of this meeting. He's really kind of a calm fella, and he's actually pretty tall. And his reputation is spotless, and so he is really there or not really there, but he's there to quiet the tempers of those that are going to get heated. Ben Franklin is 81 years old. He is the elder statesman. Now, he is inclined at this point in life, because he's an old fella, just to talk to everybody else. There is some concern that he will spread what's going on within the meeting, and so they assign like babysitters for Franklin. And when they go out in the evenings to eat, he always has a chaperone of 1 or 2 fellas to go with him to make sure that he holds his tongue and he doesn't tell folks, because he just wanted to talk to people at 81. James Madison is 36. He is quite the student of government. He is dubbed the father of the Constitution. Alexander Hamilton is 32. He is really an advocate of a super powerful central government. He gives a 5-hour speech on his plan for government. It's very eloquent, but nobody really is convinced by his 5-hour speech, because probably after the first 30 minutes, nobody listened anyway. Some folks that you would think that would have been there that were very instrumental in the Revolutionary War time would be, but they're not there. Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Thomas Paine are actually in Europe. Samuel Adams and John Hancock are not elected by Massachusetts to attend. Patrick Henry, who gave the famous "Give me liberty or give me death" speech, he was chosen as a delegate from Virginia, but he declined to serve. He declared that he's, quote, smelled a rat, and he did not want to attend, so he was absent. All right. So there's our folks. All right, so you know that the Constitutional Convention is full of debates. It's full of compromises, and probably one of the most famous and one of the most heated is, how are we going to get members into Congress? And so there are two plans that come out. There's Virginia's large plan. It calls for a House of Congress based on population. That upsets the representatives from the small states, and so they call for a Congress that is based on equal representation from each state. Now, both of these plans are bicameral legislatures, but like, for example, Virginia wants both houses of Congress to be based on population. Virginia wants both houses to be based on equal representation. And so angry debate ensues. They get into this deadlock, and it's not until Roger Sherman shows up with what we call the Great Compromise, also known as the Connecticut Compromise. And Roger Sherman says, hey, let's do this. Let's let the larger house, which is the House of Representatives, let's let the membership be based on population. And since we're a bicameral legislature, let the smaller states have equal representation in the Senate. Yay, everybody is happy. So that's what happens. We know that each state has 2 senators, and then population determines how many representatives that we actually have. They agreed on an executive power to have a president. Yay, that's a step up from the Articles of Confederation. They give him certain powers. For example, he makes appointments. We already know that. He just made an appointment to the Supreme Court. He has the power to veto. He has the power as commander-in-chief to send troops in. So he can, quote, wage war. However, he cannot declare war. All right. We know that they compromised and made the election of the president by the Electoral College. And the number of electors that each state has is determined by the number of representatives each state has, plus the number of senators. So the state of Louisiana has 8. We have 6 representatives and 2 senators. All right. And we're seeing this take place right now with some confusion, but it is taking place. All right. Any questions about that? Okay. Here we go. All right. One of the things that they wanted to make sure was that no branch of government, not one of the branches of government, could become more powerful than the others. So they create a system of checks and balances and separation of powers. And so with that, it requires actions of each branch require or can be checked by members of the other branch. And we have this nice little, if I can find my, here it is. We have this nice little chart that shows how a system of checks and balances works. You know, if Congress can pass a bill, the president can veto the bill, he can sign the bill. The legislative branch has the power of impeachment over any elected official. The judicial branch, once a bill has been passed by Congress, signed by the president, they can declare it unconstitutional if it violates the Constitution. If the president vetoes a bill, Congress can override the bill. So there's a menagerie of ways in which each branch checks and balances the other branch. Now, the other thing that's not in here, let me see if I have it. Let me look. No. All right, what is not in here is the 3/5 compromise. And we know that the 3/5 compromise determined that slavery would be based on 3/5 of an individual, of the population. So for every 5, a slave would count for 3. All right, basically. All right. Not everybody likes this new government, so we have this clash of the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist. The Federalists like the strong central government. The Anti-Federalists do not. We know that 3 leading Federalists are going to be John Jay, Alexander Hamilton, and James Madison. And one leading Anti-Federalist is Robert Yates. He's the one that wrote the Brutus Papers. So they began to argue over whether or not this Constitution is a good Constitution for the people. Is it too strong that it takes the liberties away from the people? It takes the powers away from the states, because remember, the states are sovereign at this point. The Federalists feel that this is the best way for our country to go, that there is a system that will regulate all the concerns that the Anti-Federalists have. You know that the Federalists, John Jay, Alexander Hamilton, and James Madison, will write those Federalist Papers in which they attempt to squash any fears that the Anti-Federalists have spread about how the Constitution would work. And you can remember reading those lovely Federalist Papers, and Brutus won from government last year, and it was wonderful. Okay. This is what the debates were about in the Constitutional Convention, which is going to last until September of 1787. When it's all said and done, they will sign this Constitution. It'll be written. They will sign it. 39 out of the 55 actually sign the Declaration. Those that do not, you would bet they are Anti-Federalist. So the Constitution is sent now to the states. It's going to require 9 of the 13 states to ratify it. It is sent out, and we get the 9th state ratifying the Constitution in June of 1788. But the voting continues until the other 13 will vote. Rhode Island is the last one to accept the Constitution, and it takes them, let me see if I can tell you the date. I don't know that I can. Rhode Island, let's see. No, I don't have the date right here in front of me, but Rhode Island is the last one. North Carolina is the 12th, and Rhode Island is the 13th to ratify the Constitution. Oh, there we go, right there. But June 21st, 1788, it is officially adopted because New Hampshire is the 9th state to ratify. One of the things that is called upon that is extremely important to be added to the Constitution before it is ratified is or right at the time that it's ratified, is a Bill of Rights, so that it can be, the liberties that the Anti-Federalists are afraid that are going to be taken away will be safeguarded in this Bill of Rights. All righty, let's see. We've talked about that. We're about to have this new government. We've talked about that. Self-rule, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we've done that. Y'all, we're done. Tell me what your questions are. What your concerns are. Let me go back because I went pretty fast on these so you can see them again. No questions, no concerns?
Are we gonna turn
So you're
those
gonna post.
questions in?
You're going to turn the questions in Monday when you come to class.
Okay, thank
And
you.
yes, I'm going to post, I'm just going to post this Zoom video so that way anybody who's not in Zoom can have it and you can stop it, you know, and get your notes. Any other questions? Okay, so what you
So
have,
we're testing Monday.
we are testing Monday. We're going to get out of period 3 and go to period 4. Woohoo!
Okay.
We have an observation Wednesday, first hour, just FYI. So yes, we will get out of unit 3 and head to unit 4 or period 4.
So we gotta be extra good Wednesday.
Just be yourselves. It works for me. Don't shave your mustache though, Woody.
No, I gotta keep that. They'll be super impressed.
Yes, yes, they will. You know what? You could draw it on your mask so everybody could see it. That'd be even better. Who just left me?
Thanks for the idea.
Yeah, I know. I know. It'll be amazing. All righty. Well, if y'all have nothing else for me, your job is to study over the weekend. I've given you that once again. Let me show you where it's at. Modules. All the way down here are your key concepts, and I will, as soon as we get out of Zoom, I will scan page 1. I don't know why it didn't scan. And I'll just put period 3, page 1, key concept review. So it'll go right under this one. So that's a good way for you to study. It gives you a good indication of what's going to be on the test. And just take your notes then and fill in. All right.